Meet Whacka, a happy-go-lucky mole that lives on the island of Keelhaul. This guy is so adorable, I just wanna... Oops. Sorry. If you whack him on the head, you'll get a Whacka bump, an item that heals 25 HP and 25 FP, one of the best healing items in the game. And you can get as many as you want. Well, not exactly. Every time you bonk his head and visit him again, his dialogue will change. He'll usually say that the day is good with some different words, but eventually he'll start to feel weak and have memory loss. Yep, you can kill Whacka in this game. You can collect a total of 8 Whacka bumps, but after that, he's no more. According to Goombella, Whackas are a rare species. Not only are their bumps delicious, but they sell for a high price, which you can actually do, the highest being 100 coins in the Excess Express. It's likely that people used to hunt these creatures for their bumps and profit off of them. This here is one of the last Whackas remaining on the planet. And you killed him. Way to go, genius. And that's that. 8 whacks, 8 Whacka bumps, gone for good. Never to be seen again. That is, if you're playing the Gamecube version. In the remake of Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, he's an optional boss fight. Yup, you can fight this little blue mole. What makes this interesting is that a Whacka fight was planned before Thousand Year Door. He was originally going to be fought in Paper Mario 64. Hack in the game reveals he has battle data, but it'll crash when it's his turn to attack. Wow! And to think we would never see the idea finalized if Nintendo kept going with the sticker star formula. To unlock the Whacka fight, you must do 3 specific steps. Doesn't matter which order you do it in. Step 1 is obviously bump Whacka 8 times. Step 2 is to beat the main story. In other words, open the Thousand Year Door, wipe the floor with the Shadow Queen, and roll credits. Step 3 is to tackle the Pit of 100 Trials and fight Bonetail. Do all these conditions, and you'll receive an email. There's a mysterious creature that migrated in the pit, and it's said to be... extinct?
Wait. Is this creature the Whacka?
Yes, you have to go back in the Pit of 100 Trials again, but they made it easier this time. For 300 coins, the Mover Puny will teleport you to the 50th floor, skipping half of the pit. It's still tedious having to go through each floor to get to the bottom, but you can speed up the process by finding the Mover Puny and skip 10 floors. Though I recommend not talking to him when you get to the last 10 floors. That's because there's a chance an Amazing Daisy will spawn. I'll take that free experience, thank you very much. Whoa! There's 2 of them? How lucky! Just use a Supernova and a Fiery Jinx to beat them in 1 turn. Easy! You're now at the bottom of the pit, and it's quiet. Too quiet. Bonetail's corpse is gone. The open chest is still there. Where is he? Oh, there you are. Apparently he likes it here, and sees it as a cool getaway spot. Well, you know what to do. What the Whacka is up with this music? It's fast. It's dramatic. It's wacky. Anyway, looking him up on Goombella's catalog reveals he has a max HP of 108, an attack power of 10, and defense of 1. Every time he's attacked, he'll drop a Whacka bump, which he can use to attack you or heal himself. Each Whacka bump will deal 10 damage, and the more bumps he drops, the more attacks he can use on his turn. There's also a chance for him to drop a red Whacka bump. These things are dangerous, dealing 30 damage. Holy smokes! He can even shake the ground to cause stage props to drop on his head, spawning more Whacka bumps. Jeez! Imagine if an earthquake is happening, all because Whacka is shaking the ground. Now who do you think is the biggest threat? An ancient demon from 1,000 years ago? A giant skeleton dragon? Or Blue Diglett? Better hold that thought, because I'm about to teach you how to beat Whacka. Let's first discuss on how we attack Whacka. This boss is designed to use as few hits as possible. Since each hit will cause a Whacka bump to spawn, you must avoid using attacks that do multiple hits. No jump-based attacks like standard jump or head bonk, no combo attacks like multi-bonk or ground pound, and no attacks that do status effects like Shade Fist. The fire will do extra damage to him. Now with that being said, it is possible to beat Whacka with jump-based attacks. If you raise your attack power enough and use either Power Bounce or Multi-Bonk, you can drain a lot of his health. The problem with Power Bounce and Multi-Bonk is its fourth bounce is frame perfect. Unless you get lucky, you can only bounce 4 times. Not only that, it spawns more Whacka bumps, leaving you vulnerable to take damage. Yeah, this is not my preferred method. Oh well, I never liked Power Bounce anyway. So what's the best way to attack Whacka? The hammer, of course! Since the hammer does 1 strike during its attack, it only spawns 1 bump. This is the safest play we can do to prevent Whacka from using more bumps. Since we're limited to a hammer move, let's buff it up to deal even more damage. You can do this by equipping Power Smash, a hammer attack that is much stronger than your standard hammer. There's also Power Lift, which raises your attack power based on how many orange arrows you hit. Another way to buff your hammer is by attack up badges. Wow, this is the 3rd time I brought them up. It's like they're the best badges in the game. You got your usual Power Plus, P up, D down, all or nothing. But I want to give a spotlight to Hammer Man. It's your lucky day! You finally get to be useful! Hammer Man will deactivate your jump moves, but raise your attack by 1. Kinda like Jumpman, but it works the other way around. I don't usually use Hammer Man because my main source of attack is jump-based moves, but since we're going all in with Power Smash, this will be perfect for our strategy. And lastly, there's the Charge Badge. When equipped, you can use the Charge ability, which raises your attack by 2. The more times you charge, the higher your attack. You can keep stacking your attack power, and it will stay preserved until you strike the enemy. Keep mustering up your strength, and bash his head when the time is right. Okay, we now know how to attack the Whacka. Now let's talk about how we defend ourselves. Be prepared for a bunch of Whacka bumps to spawn. Even if you don't attack him, random stage hazards will purposely drop on his head. Whacka can even shake the ground and cause more props to fall on his head. Sure, he does take damage from this, but he now has a lot of ammunition. tons of Whacka bumps will be thrown at you and deal massive damage. How do we survive this attack? We got a few options. One of them is super guards. Assuming you've already fought Prince Mush before, you can use super guards to protect yourself from the bumps. The timing is tricky to pull off, but with enough practice, you can super guard every single bump. So all this time while we were fighting Prince Mush, we were preparing ourselves for Whacka? Thanks, Mush! You're a good teacher! If you're still not good at super guarding, there's plenty more options to defend yourself. There's an item called a boo sheet, which will make you invisible for 1 turn. This is a great item to have on your inventory, but they can only be used once. Use them wisely. Another thing you can try is Vivian's Veil, where she'll hide you in the shadows and avoid attacks for a turn. You could make the argument that it's a pointless move since it gives the enemy a second turn, and I originally thought the same thing too, until I tried another test fight on Whacka, and to my surprise, it works! I use Veil to dodge the bumps, then he uses another turn to spawn more bumps, and rinse and repeat. This went on for 3 turns. You can just keep hiding from his attacks, and he'll only damage himself. I don't know if this is intentional or I'm just getting lucky, but it works, so I don't care. Ha! You missed! Uh-oh.
Matt, I got you! Woo! Sorry for the interruption, but I had to save you.
Thanks, Koops. Wait, your shell shield move just gave me an idea. Koops is the best partner for this boss. Not only is his shell toss a singular attack, but his shell shield will cover up Mario and tank every single bump. And unlike Veil, your second turn will not go to waste. The only thing you have to worry about is bumps being thrown at Koops, but you can easily counter it with a boo sheet, super guards, or luckies. What do you say, Koops? Wanna help me fight Whacka?
How did my life get to the point from avenging my dad to fighting a blue Diglett? Okay, Matt, I'll try not to get in your way.
Excellent! Now let's attempt to beat Whacka. We'll be heading to the bottom of the pit to reach him. It's a dangerous journey, so be sure to pack some healing items and life shrooms. You'll never know when your HP will drop to 0. Once we get to the bottom, we'll raise our attack power as much as possible, use only Power Smash and Shell Toss, and use Shell Shield and Boo Sheets to protect ourselves. Alright, the moment you've been waiting for. The fight against a red plumber and a blue Diglett. Let's attack the Whacka! Wow, that was easier than I thought. Beating Whacka will reward you with a golden Whacka bump. Sadly, it cannot be eaten, but if you go back down to the pit and fight him again, you'll get a regular Whacka bump. Nice to see them back again. Well, in conclusion, Whacka is a fun post-game boss. When compared to the Shadow Queen, Bonetail, and even Prince Mush, he's not as bad as you think. Sure, he spawns more bumps the more you attack him, and each one deals 10 damage, on top of the red bumps that deal 30, but once you figure out his pattern, he's a fun time. The stakes aren't as high like the Shadow Queen and Bonetail fight, and it doesn't require perfect execution like the Prince Mush fight. Heck, Whacka doesn't even have a grudge on you when you start the fight. He just thinks we're playing a game. When I was making this video, I never knew how much fun I would have with him. After doing 2 practice rounds where I purposely used the wrong moves on him and still come out on top, I was surprised yet satisfied. Give this boss a try once you beat the story mode. That being said, how can this creature be so cute and act chaotic? Does it have orange tabby behavior? Why don't we ask it?
I don't think that's a good idea. It might throw bumps on you.
Relax, he's not mad at us. What could go wrong? Hello, Whacka. What's going on in your tiny little head?